Good morning, good Erev Shabbos. Special greetings to our soldiers at Fort Jackson, to everybody watching our video. You know, great leaders have many qualities, but humility is often not one of them. With rare exceptions, they tend to be ambitious and with very high self-regard. In fact, they expect to be obeyed, honored, or even feared in some cases. And they may wear their superiority like an invisible crown, but that's not really humility. Which makes what the Torah says in this week's Torah portion about a king pretty amazing. Knowing that power tends to corrupt, it specifies that a king may not acquire too many horses, too many wives, or too much wealth. Now, these three traps, which, by the way, King Solomon fell into, in order to avoid them, the Torah says that the king is to write a Torah scroll to keep with him and to read from and to learn how to be in awe of God and not feel superior to everybody else. Now, if a king is supposed to be humble, how much more so the rest of us? Now, this is one of the genuine revolutionary ideas of Judaism, that a king should be humble would have appeared ridiculous in the ancient world. I mean, look at the Egyptian ruins where there are endless projects by the rulers to honor themselves, or Aristotle, who said that humility and obedience and servitude was for those born to be ruled. The idea that a king should be humble was radical and a great example, by the way, of how ideas impact the way we feel, act, and think. Believing that there is a God in whose presence we stand means that we are not the center of our world. God is. Now, humility should never be confused with weakness. Precisely when Abraham called himself dust and ashes, he challenged God on the justice of punishing Sodom and Gomorrah. Moshe, who urged God to forgive the people and then said, if not, erase me from this book. These were the humblest, but also the most boldest spirits humanity has ever produced. Humility means that you are secure enough not to need to be reassured all the time by other people how great you are. It means you don't need to feel that you have to prove yourself, right, by showing that you are more successful than other people. You're secure because you live in God's love. He has faith in you, even if you don't have it in yourself. You do not need to compare yourself to others. You have your task, they have theirs, and that leads to cooperation, not competition. Now, humility is the understanding that it's not all about me. The best leaders, in fact, are humble. They learn from criticism. They're confident enough to empower others and praise their contributions. They inspire loyalty and have strong team spirit. And that applies to us in all areas of life, as marriage partners, as parents, as fellow workers, and friends. Now, my role model for humility was the Rebbe. He carried himself with a quiet dignity. But when you were alone with him, he made you feel like you were the most precious and most important person in the world. It was an extraordinary gift. Humility is not thinking you are small. It is thinking that other people have greatness within them. It has been said that pride is concerned with who is right, and humility is concerned with what is right. To serve God in love, says Maimonides, is to do what is right because it is right and for no other reason. Love is selfless. Forgiveness is selfless. Humility means living by the light of that which is greater than me. When God is at the center of our lives, we open ourselves up to the story of creation and the beauty of other people. The smaller the self, the wider the radius of our world. Have a wonderful Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.